Welcome. You're listening to the Best of Investing on News Talk 910. This is the show where we present valuable information about real estate, the financial markets, and other economic business of the day. And for those of you listening for the first time, here's our format. A few guys sitting around a bar having drinks. Of course, this time we have a lady also, so that's going to be awesome. Talking business with you, the audience listening in. I'm your host, Edward Brown, and I'm pleased to have as my co-host Mark Hanf of Pacific Private Money, California's fastest growing private lender, and Robert Spinoza of RPM Mortgage. Our phone number is 888-912-1190. Write that number down, 888-912-1190, because you're going to use that number to answer the trivia questions for 3 vacations given away during each commercial break. That's right, we're giving away 9 vacations during this show. The vacations are sponsored by Lighthouse Resort and Marina and not by the radio station. Just want to make sure that we make that clear. And the Lighthouse Resort and Marina is located 1 hour northeast of San Francisco. The vacations are free. Their only request is a $75 cleaning fee to cover housekeeping expenses. Their website is lighthouseforfun.com. That's a mouthful. You can reach them at 916-777-5511. And today's trivia theme is, who did they team up with? You'll understand when I get to the question. Our website is bestofinvesting.com. Check us out on Facebook and YouTube by typing Best of Investing Radio Show. We're also on television, Comcast Channel 26, and AT&T UVerse Channel 99. I found that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
is that new?
That's fairly new. Yeah, or it's new to me because I just changed. But from Comcast over to AT&T.
Well, thank you, AT&T.
Yeah. So it's Saturdays at noon and Sundays at 6 p.m. Now today's special guests are Mike and Kelly Balistrari. Now they're not married. It's a father and daughter team.
And by the way, Kelly's drinking free.
Okay. There you go. All right. And now, what are they going to talk about? They're going to discuss internet marketing, which is kind of cool because we haven't had anybody yet to come on and talk about internet marketing. So, Mike and Kelly, take it away. What do you want to tell? What do you want to tell us? So, welcome to the Best of Investing. And what do you want to tell us about internet marketing? And we'll get into specific questions in just a minute.
Well, it's really nice to be here. Internet marketing is a really exciting field right now. It's a great way for companies to make money and leverage their advertising dollars in a very wise way.
Okay. So is internet marketing like really just, tweeting and posting on Facebook and LinkedIn, or is it more than that?
Well, internet marketing is really you have to have a comprehensive strategy.
Right.
There's a lot of different components to it. One thing that we really focus on is protecting your market share. So when someone does a search on your company name, you come up very easily and your traffic's not stolen by aggregator sites like Yelp or Super Pages, that ilk.
Is there any type of company that you tend to work for, that you typically work for, or what's your target market?
That's a really good question. We try to really stay in the business-to-consumer area. So the type of companies we work with really well are service companies and professional companies. Home services are really big, and doctors, lawyers, chiropractors, dentists.
So you could help me out.
Yeah, I was going to say
Pacific Private Money.
Yeah.
You always need more clients, and it just seems like so many people now are really leveraging the power of Facebook and maybe more so LinkedIn. LinkedIn is really, and I just don't. I'm struggling with the idea or the what do I do? How do I market myself? What's the best way to post? What's the best way to to gain trust and business through a medium like LinkedIn, which is very professional?
Well, I want to piggyback on what Mark is saying too, because I think that it's the temptation to do your own internet marketing scattershot and attain very, very poor results is a vast capacity.
I'm really good at that.
Yeah. I think a few of us here are pretty good at that part of it.
Yeah, that's really a great point. We spend a lot of time with the question of what does Google want from you,
right?
As far as a business, and it's much worse to have a blog that's not used to not have a blog at all.
Correct.
So consistent active use is really
Oops.
I think I better get started on that.
Yeah, really, really important to consistently update your blog, YouTube, Facebook, all that.
Well, that's the thing is theoretically I've got a Twitter account, and it's talked, and suddenly I'm getting this, people are following me, and I'm looking behind me and go, oh my gosh, they're following me, and I realize, they're following me on Twitter, and I go, oh shoot, I guess I got to post something, right?
Is there kind of a rule of thumb you use for how often someone should blog, assuming they have like a blog tab on their website like I do?
Yeah, the minimum really is about 5 times a month. We like to be safe and do 10
Once
times
a week?
month. Yeah.
Once or twice a week.
Yeah,
but none of that, I just had a ham sandwich,
Right.
that type of blogging, it just, like Facebook drives me crazy. with all of the stuff that people post on it. It really is. Now, Kelly, you're here, and I see your head nodding. Yes, but remember you're on radio, so we actually have to hear your voice rather than nodding. So what do you want to add to this before we get into the questions? Nothing yet. Okay, that's okay. That's right. No
Another
problem.
Midori sour, please.
That's right. Drinks. Yeah, Midori sour.
I don't know where
I don't know
got
what that
that
is.
from.
Okay. All right.
It's not a guy's drink.
Okay,
Don't worry
we
about
have a couple of things here. I think you mentioned something about stolen traffic, if I'm not mistaken. I think you did mention something like that about stealing. So, what I'd like to see, what is stolen traffic?
Right now, this is a real big problem on the internet. There's a lot of fraud and a lot of stolen traffic. Even if a customer knows the company name and does a Google search, the results that come back include Google AdWords, a lot of special offers, a lot of aggregator sites like
I hate
Super
that.
Pages.
So
Yeah.
when I'm looking for, making it really simple, like by Home Depot, I'll come up with the Home Depot, but I guess it has to say official site, right? Because sometimes you'll just automatically click on something and it'll bring you all over the places you had no idea what you're going.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We had a hardware store client that they were on Super Pages, and it came up third on the results page, which was nice. But when we went to the Super Pages actual account and went to that page, to the right of their information was a map. And it took about 2 minutes to realize the map was to their competitor and not them. And it took up about a third of the page.
Hey, that shouldn't be allowed.
Well,
That's not very nice.
Let me ask you a question on that, because you brought up looking at a website on the side, and I think that's one of the things that a lot of people, they look at their own placements on search engines and then they wonder about the advertisements. What do you guys find with that? Are they effective, or are people looking for organic search results in general?
All right, Kelly, take it away. Go ahead.
People tend to prefer the organic searches because they know that the AdWords and the first websites that come up in the yellow boxes are bought, so they have less credibility because of that.
Exactly. Yeah, like the first few that pop up, I don't even really pay attention to.
But you still got guys paying a lot of money per click for those ads. So my question becomes, are they effective in any sense on their own?
That's a good
Yeah,
question.
they're definitely effective as part of your internet strategy. So we'll run the pay-per-click programs in conjunction with other things. But last I heard, Google's making about $100 million a day from AdWords.
Wow.
So they got to work, and people are making money off
And I'm
them.
getting frustrated just on my phone now.
Right.
It's like I try to go to my calendar, and the first thing that pops up is, do I want to buy some app on, something, something called Playmate, and I'm going, oh, I'd like a Playmate, and then I realize, oh, that's not the kind of Playmate they want. And no, I'm not visiting any weird things. It's just kind of popping up anyway. Okay, guys, we're going to, guys and gals, we're going to cut to our first commercial break here. And again, the trivia question is, who did they team up with? Okay, she teamed up with Elton John to sing "Don't Go Breaking My Heart." Remember that? Oh, no, don't answer yet. Okay, who was she? The first three callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Their website is lighthouseforfun.com. Call 888-912-1190. That's 888-912-1190 to answer this question. She teamed up with Elton John to sing "Don't Go Breaking My Heart." Who was she? 888-912-1190. Make sure to include your name, your email address, speak slowly, and spell out your email for us one letter at a time, and we'll be right back.
You weren't even born when that song came out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's not gonna
I
be
know
good.
the
Yeah.
song. I know the song,
You
but
know
I
the
don't
song?
know
That's
who
good.
sang it.
She had a really weird name, I remember.
You do remember?
Oh yeah.
I think I do.
Okay, we'll let Mike.
Yeah,
answer
right.
that one. We always let the nice.
He's
This way we can make fun of you if you don't get it right.
Yeah.
See, that was the easy one.
Yeah,
Gets a
no.
little harder. Does it get harder? No. The second one's even easier, but then the third
Okay.
one's harder.
Do you guys work with Yelp and Yelp platforms? Because I just created a Yelp account for my company. Finally.
Oh,
And
That's
so
good,
now,
Mark.
now I'm
That's a
thinking,
good idea.
So now I'm thinking, okay, well, whenever we do a good job for a client, I'm telling like Jordan in my office, who's my 25-year-old, social media person,
Yeah.
to ask them if they would send them a link to that and ask them if they wouldn't mind writing a little review
I
for
can
us.
help you with that, but there's a caveat. I've got 17 5-star reviews. Only one of them is visible. You guys know about that?
Yeah, Yelp is
Yeah.
a real issue.
Really?
It's a real problem.
So
Yelp
yeah.
is kind of evil.
yeah,
Yeah,
they are. They are.
If you
You
don't
know,
subscribe to Do No Evil, right?
Well,
Yeah.
especially with my business partner Marco had a restaurant, and or
That's,
actually
that's really
it wasn't,
tough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and what, actually it wasn't him. It was somebody else who had a restaurant, and someone called up and said, "Unless you give me $100 free gift certificate, I'm going to go on
Yeah.
Yelp and give you all
Oh,
the blackmail."
yeah.
Absolute
That
blackmail.
things,
And
a
if
lot
you,
of that happens.
You pay
a lot.
Yelp $4.50 a month to advertise, your reviews change.
Yeah,
What-
they'll.
Oh,
Very
really?
interesting.
If you paid them, all your reviews would show
Yeah.
up and no negative reviews. But the minute you stop paying them,
There you go.
All the negative.
it all
Oh
comes
man,
back and you get like twice as much
$4.50 a month.
advertising.
That might be worth it for me though.
I think it's
$450.
$500 a month
Oh my
now.
gosh.
Chin
I actually
me
told
it's
one
500.
computer store, do it.
Hey,
I said, you're
Yeah,
not going to be
depending
able
on
to
who you are, right? For
Yeah.
me, I don't know that a lot of my clients. I mean,
I don't
most of my
know.
stuff comes from mortgage brokers.
Let's
and
see,
stuff.
Mark. If I can get a half a point,
Yeah.
I'll give you a good review on it.
Yeah, he got like 4 incredibly negative reviews, and of course their dads for all his competitors on there, and his sales just went down.
Personally, I
too.
think Yelp's going to go out of business.
And I told him,
It's,
pay
there's
it.
so many people sue Yelp. There's just so many problems with it, and also with Groupon and all that.
Yeah.
But companies are just getting blasted because with Groupon, everyone buys it. They
Yeah.
don't have the staff to service it.
right, it's like an
So-
influx of business they
Yeah.
can't handle. Right.
What do you guys
So
want to
they
talk
get
about in a second?
Bolted.
Oh, you know
So
what?
see
I
how
forgot
fast
to give you
these
guys.
go. So.
They
Yeah.
go pretty
I forgot to
fast.
give you guys.
Well, no, I've got their questions, but
you
I
do
just
have
do you
questions,
want? Are these things you want to talk about, or is there something else you guys would like to go
Well,
into?
I think that, the thing that we're trying to really push is we have this 40 for 40 deal right now, where 40 social marketing updates for $40. So that goes
I
into
like
how,
that.
say,
Yeah.
say what the big, because everyone knows they need to do social marketing, but no one has time. So that's kind of what
Oh,
we'd
also,
like
you
to
guys
that's
are
talk
giving
about.
great.
a couple
40
of
for
books
40.
away.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll announce that
Okay.
toward the end.
Okay.
Okay about that.
I'll ask you about those. See what we're talking about for the air about
And
programming.
Obviously, I freeze
The
out
email we
already.
received
Do you-
from
do
you.
you wanna
my
answer
friend,
that?
was,
You can
answer
it
that.
seems like
Go-to
everyone is
point.
opting for fixed
A
rates
go-to
instead of
point?
adjustable.
Yeah.
Are you experiencing this?
Well, we can
And why do you
see.
think it
Well,
is?
I'll just-
And Mark, the email we
Okay.
received for you was, do
Gonna say
you
one
only help
thing.
clients invest in
Say
individual
one.
You
deeds,
gotta
or
do
do you
better
also
than me.
invest in funds?
Nice.
One
Okay.
Say
thing.
one thing each segment,
One thing.
I love
at
that.
least.
Yeah.
I said,
I will.
I don't think I'm doing
I
well.
saw
so
the
don't
Wizard
put
of
too much
Oz
pressure.
movie.
I'll say
Recently.
something. I'll
And for
talk.
guys our age and stuff, it was actually kind of fun.
Oh, the new one.
The new one
Yeah,
with.
that-
Oh, I
I'll
can.
bring
I,
that whole
I'm.
thing
You know,
if you
we'll
want.
get the DVD when it comes out. 'Cause my kids love that
And
stuff.
I'll jump
Oh,
in.
do they?
before
Yeah.
40.
Yeah. It was enjoyable
We'll see.
only because
I'm getting nervous.
I kind of grew up with
But I'll
Oz,
say
Sure.
But
Oh yeah, I watched
apparently
that movie 100 times.
kids now, like the 7-8-year-olds, they
Wizard
kind
of
of
Oz?
live,
Yeah.
it's
They
faint.
go, I don't really
Oh,
get
they
it.
don't.
They don't
I
understand.
babysit on the side, and I was explaining the Wizard of Oz, and the girl was looking at me, and she's like, "That's the best story I've ever heard." And it's like, I made it up right now. Who's your favorite babysitter?
There you go.
And halfway through, it switches to color.
Yeah.
What?
Well, you have to have them watch the original.
Yeah.
And then
You
go,
do.
go
She
see
was
this
like, "Wait, is this a movie?" And I was like, "I made a movie about it.
one.
Maybe we can watch it sometime. Tell your mom to call me again."
Say my rate just tripled.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, ready? Okay. Welcome back to The Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hoff of Pacific Private Money and Robert Spinoza of RPM Mortgage. And we're also in the studio here with Mike and Kelly Balistrari. And we are going to give our first commercial break trivia question here that we asked during the commercial break. She teamed up with Elton John to sing Don't Go Breaking My Heart. Who was she? And Mike, who was the answer?
Would that be Kiki D?
It
There
would
you
be- no,
go.
you gotta sing, don't break, you gotta be singing it though. No, I'm
Not
just
gonna
kidding.
happen.
No, okay, Kiki D. For a long time, I kept thinking it was Kinky D. No, it's Kiki D. Okay, Mark.
We're in the studio with Mike and Kelly. Is it Balistrari?
Yes.
Okay, and your company is called Get Found, right? And your website, getfound.com. link.us.
That's correct.
And we were talking off the air that you've got a special promotion that you were plugging that I thought was really cool because I'm probably going to be very interested in that as well. You want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. A lot of companies know that they need to have a presence on Facebook and LinkedIn and so social marketing sites, but they just don't have the expertise or the time. So we have a program going right now where you get 40 social marketing updates for only $40 a month. That includes LinkedIn, Google+, Facebook, Twitter, and a blog entry.
So 40 for 40. So what kind of posts are you doing? What do you need from me in order to take advantage of something like that? Do I need to provide you with some material or some blog posts, or what does that actually look like?
All we really need from you is some keywords of what you want us to focus on and an area of focus like San Jose or Saratoga, that type of thing.
But you have to get into his LinkedIn account, though, right? Or
Yeah, we need the login and password to all your accounts, but we pretty much do the whole thing so you don't have to. We want you to be able to focus on your job and let us do our job, which is marketing for you on the internet.
I've got a question for you about internet marketing in and of itself. I've heard people say that, well, you really can't promote yourself. You should, share information. But then I've heard other people say that, that's really not true, that you can, I guess, selectively promote yourself. And, how do you feel about that when it comes to posting on Facebook and LinkedIn?
The usual rule of thumb is that 1 out of every 20 posts should be kind of a sales post for you, but there's companies that take advantage of the internet and social marketing to do things like, for example, a cupcake shop. They post a word on Facebook every morning, and the first 50 people that come in and say that word get a free cupcake. And that's a daily thing.
where is that cupcake place?
Yeah.
Where's San Diego?
No, it's in Palo Alto, Sprinkles Cupcake
You know what?
Shop.
It's probably worth driving 50 miles just to get the free cupcake.
It
Okay.
really is. They're delicious.
They're delicious. Okay.
So the key is to keep it light, make it fun, and don't, go with a real heavy, hard line sales approach, or else you're going to turn people off and they're not going to be happy.
You know what? I have probably 150 Facebook friends, and most of them are real estate professionals because I'm in the real estate lending business. And I can't tell you, most of the posts are just people posting some thought for the day thing. And it's kind of like it was great at the beginning, and now it's like I just scroll right through this. I can't read another thought.
Or don't you love when you get contacts with people and they say, look, I'll say that you're the best person in it. If you say I'm the best person in my, and it's like,
Quid pro quo
oh,
stuff. Yeah.
quid pro quo. That's famous words, yes.
I like Rob's. He's always got pretty pictures of houses that I wish I could afford to buy.
Well, yeah, you're
That's
trying.
Rob Spinoza of RPM Mortgage.
Thanks. You're trying to get information out there that's going to help some of the people you work with, and I think that is the real value of a lot of the social media. With so many consumers these days, all over, doing their own research, using the internet as a tool to do it. I think that when social media works well, that's how it does it. It speaks the language of the audience you've got, and I think that's what's lost in a lot of this, honestly. And you guys, you have a great business model that you can eliminate the confusion that business people like me, like Mark, like Edward have. When you're out there, you need to be online. You need to have a presence, but you want it to represent how you really do business. And I think that there's just a lack of information, knowledge, and trust in your field. How do we get the results out of it? If we pay for it, are we going to see back?
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Is that how can companies increase the sales through internet marketing? I mean, let's get into nuts.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
bolts. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Well, companies try a lot of different things that kind of get rich quick, like Groupon or daily deals, and they end up being detrimental to the company in the long run. Unfortunately, it's the blocking and tackling. It's getting more people to your website and turning those people into customers instead of just visitors to your site.
It's interesting you mentioned about the daily deals because one time in the current, the newspaper, the local newspaper here, that's the first thing you see is
on page one.
On page one is daily deals, right? And some of them are pretty good. And as I understand it, though, because I called one time daily deals to ask how it works. First thing they do is they said whatever your normal price is, you got to discount it 50%, and then we take half of that. So it's like you got to basically do it for 25 cents on the dollar, which depends on your markup how good that is. But what I thought was interesting was I was interested in something, and by the time I remembered to call it, it was gone. And so what
Right.
I did was I remembered the name, so I called the company, and I said, you know what, you had this thing on Daily Deals and blah blah blah. Will you still honor it? And they said yes. And then I said, and I realized, you know what, they're not going to tell Daily Deals. It just is a direct between the two of us.
Yeah, that's one of the real issues is once the consumer gets used to that, then every time they want 50% off.
Right.
Because that is now the price that they will pay for your service.
Well, that's why a lot of restaurants don't participate in some of the 2-for-1 type things. Yeah.
What are some of the other, I guess, other social media websites you guys like? I mean, obviously everyone knows Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and we just mentioned Groupon. Are there any other sites you guys recommend?
We really like Pinterest right now.
Pinterest.
Pinterest. Are
Good.
you guys familiar with
Yes,
it?
I've seen that. That's got some pretty pictures on it.
Yeah, so it has pretty pictures. It's pretty image based, but it's also just a great way to get your website and or your product that you have out there because everyone's on it and it's very pretty to look at, so people are more drawn to it, and it goes to the link.
Could you use it for a service-based
Yeah.
business?
Yeah,
so,
you
so for
definitely
example,
could.
I'm in home finance. How would I use Pinterest? Because I'm not familiar with the
See,
site.
how do you even find out about a company that I've never heard of Pinterest? I used to have a suit that had Pinterest on it. Oh, pinstripes. That's different. Okay.
Yeah, Pinterest is fairly new. After 6 months in existence, it became the third largest internet networking site, and they just launched business pages. So there's different ways to promote yourself on it. But one of the great things is 83% of the accounts are owned by women, which
Okay.
means consumers and which means sales. So
How do you spell that, Pinterest?
It's interest with a P.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's supposed to be like a virtual pin board. So you're pinning links on it basically.
Okay. Interesting.
And as far as business activity on it, it really is in its infancy. Up to now, about 2 months ago, it was just personal accounts, but now they've launched business accounts, and a lot of the big players are getting into it. If you want to see a great example of a company that uses social marketing well, just follow Starbucks on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and see how they use it. They're experts at it. They really do a
Well, they
great
can
job.
afford to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, they can.
That's an account you want to land.
Okay, so listeners, pay attention here because first, there's a couple things I want to mention. First of all, Mike is giving away 2 books to the first 2 callers who call our 888-912-1190, and the name of the book is Internet Marketing Basics for Business Owners: How to Survive Owning a Business in a Digital World. Sounds almost like when you get your PhD, your thesis. And so if the first 2 people who call, 888-912-1190, you're going to receive that free book. But also, that's special, 40 ideas for $40.
Yeah, that's 40 social marketing updates. So it's basically 2 to 3 a week on each of the platforms of Facebook, a blog, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Google Plus, which are the 5 biggest sites.
Okay.
And it's just $40 a month, and it's an incredible value.
Yeah, how long is that promotion going on for?
We're just going to have that through the end of April.
Okay, so it's not necessarily for our listeners, it's for everyone. So you don't have to necessarily call us. Go ahead and, Mike, how do people get a hold of you if they want that special deal or just to get in touch with you?
Well, the best way is to visit our website, which is getfound.us. We use the .us website because all of our activity, all of our work is done in the United States, which is different from about 95% of the SEO companies. And sometimes it does make a difference when you're writing blog posts. It can be tough if English is your second language.
Okay. Thank you very much for being in the studio. Stick around because we're going to talk about some real estate stuff, and I'm sure you'll have some interesting aspects to join with us on it. So now next week, we're going to actually have another special trivia contest. The Wine Country Inn is joining us again. Surrounded by vineyards and secluded up a country lane, the Wine Country Inn has evolved from the Napa Valley's very first bed and breakfast inn into a magnificent antique-filled boutique hotel. Their award-winning country inn, along with its close proximity to many of Napa Valley's finest wineries and restaurants, makes the Wine Country Inn a perfect wine country vacation or weekend getaway. Call 888-465-4608 or go to winecountryin.com. Okay, now we're going to cut to that trivia question is going to be for next week for the Wine Country Inn. Now we're going to cut to our second commercial break, and the theme again is who did they team up with? Now, this was a little easier question, so everyone get ready on your phones. In Greece, who did John Travolta team up with to sing "You're the One That I Want"? Okay, remember that? The first 3 callers with the correct answer are going to win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Their website is lighthouse4fun.com. Call 888-912-1190. That's 888-912-1190 to answer this question. In the movie Grease, who did John Travolta team up with to sing "You're the One That I Want"? Again, call 888-912-1190. Make sure to include your name, your email address, speak slowly, and spell out your email for us 1 letter at a time. And don't touch that dial because we'll be right back. Excellent.
Can I call right now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead. Yeah.
You know a trivia question.
Oh,
I
I'll call
know
for
the
this.
answer.
I'm sorry. I thought you said you needed to make a call.
Kelly knows an answer.
You know that one, yeah.
Olivia.
The next question's going to be
I'm
hard,
old
though.
enough to have had a crush on her.
I wanted to be her.
Wait, how old are you?
25.
Yeah, Grease was Kelly's
Child.
favorite musical.
They had
really?
I had a little cassette.
Oh,
We saw Grease on Ice. That's how dedicated we are.
wow. Well, you know,
I
you know,
loved that movie when it came out. As a teenager.
Yeah.
you know what's funny is, like Olivia Newton-John, she can't do anything other than be sweet and cute. Even when she tries to be like mean and da-da-da, it's like Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah.
I don't care what you do. You could be an axe murderer. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Alright, let's see here.
You reading contracts there, or what are you doing?
No, I was trying to. He asked the question. I was actually trying to back it up with a specific stat on the percentage of ARM loans that are being done to fixed, and I know it's under 5%.
Oh, I thought you were looking at the Grease question.
No, no.
So we already caught that answer.
Yeah, you're like, we're past you. But I can't find it. Usually it's on that HSH email that I get every week, but it hasn't been for some time. So I'm gonna stop looking at this stretch.
Ooh, the Mike and Kelly team. All right.
How long you guys been doing this?
About 4 years with Get Found. Before that, I did
So nice
auto
name.
dealers for about 4 years.
What?
Auto dealer marketing?
Yeah, internet marketing,
Yeah.
which is a completely different game. Very cutthroat, really competitive, really hard.
It was really coincidental on the drive down here. I get in my car, I'm listening to classic rock, and the phone rings. Of course, the radio goes off and just goes through Bluetooth. And the guy who's calling me, he's 68 years old. He's an out-of-work marketing expert. He was telling me, and it was a consumer loan that I couldn't help him with. 'Cause I make hard money loans to real estate investors, but he wanted, I gave him some referrals for some people that I knew off the top of my head that might be able to help him. But he was a little bit chatty, and he was talking about how hard it is for guys like him who've been in the biz for a long time to find work right now.
Yeah.
To get contract work, substantive contract work.
Yeah.
In fact, he told me, because have you ever heard of the saying, and now I can't remember it, he said, and I did. I wrote that.
Oh wow. Yeah.
We have a hard money guy client in San Jose that we're doing pretty well for.
What's his name?
Joe Monty.
Not Joe Monty. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
He's real small.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
say,
pretty
I've
much
not
kinda
heard of Joe
retired.
Monty, Yeah.
But he just, he's happy
No,
to get
John
2 or 3 leads a month and close one. He's real happy. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds good. And where are you guys based out of?
San Jose.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
she's in San Diego, but I was
Okay.
mainly in San Jose.
All right.
So I gotta send you a picture of my brother's friend's old girlfriend. We're talking about like 1973. You look exactly like her. I mean, it's scary.
Incarnation.
I get a lot of looking like other people's.
Really?
Yes. a
Me,
lot of
I'm just the
people.
Robin Williams. I mean, why can't I look like Brad Pitt?
Robin
I can see it.
Okay, ready? We'll get
I grew
into.
up beard and people would tell me I look like Kelsey Grammer.
You know,
I
I
can
can
see
see that.
it.
I can see it. Yeah.
You do find
Dr.
it.
Crane.
That's a compliment.
Okay. Gonna. I love this guy. He's got such a great. I tell you, his disposition is great. Because on the air, I tease him a lot, and in a fun way, and he plays along with it. Like my favorite one is the, is Hey, Mark, smell this rag. Does it smell like chloroform to you?
No.
and then, so of course he plays along. He goes, Mark, don't worry, he'll be awake next week. Okay. All right. Now let's get to email time. Ready? Got it. We're gonna answer the question first. Who's gonna answer this one? We're gonna let Kelly answer it.
I'll
so-
answer it.
Okay. Welcome back to The Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with my co-host Mark Hans of Pacific Private Money and Robert Spinoza of RPM Mortgage. When we cut to the second commercial break, we asked this trivia question. Again, the theme was, who did they team up with? In Greece, who did John Travolta team up with to sing You're the One That I Want? And we have the youngster here, Kelly. She knows this. Who is that?
Olivia Newton-John.
That is correct. Very good. Before she was born, but that's okay. She knew the answer. Okay, we're going to get right into email time here. And Mark, the email we received for you is, a listener says, do you only help clients invest in individual deeds, or do you also invest in funds?
Well, great question. And for listeners to the show, we've been doing this show for now going on 2.5 years. And when I started Pacific Private Money in 2008, basically the majority of the loans that we've done, the hard money loans to real estate investors, were all funded by private individuals. And that's known as, if you're investing in notes, you're funding loans through a hard money loan broker like Pacific Private Money. That type of investing comes under a number of different names, and one of them is trustee investing. Right? Trustee investing means I'm investing in individual notes, but there is also an opportunity among a group of Bay Area companies, if you so choose, and that is to invest in a mortgage pool fund. And so, we actually at Pacific are in the process of putting a mortgage pool fund together, and we plan on launching that actually this coming April. So
Now that would allow someone to get in with a smaller investment than they otherwise could, or
And diversification.
well, there's a couple of things. See, right now we do about 15 to 20 loans per month, but I have over 400 private individual investors who subscribe to our distribution network. And so that means a lot of people are not able to get in on these individual notes. And so right now I have got more investors than I have deal flow. And there's only so many loans I can do. And assuming that 20 to 25 loans is probably my maximum deal flow, realistic deal flow. That's a tough one for some people to get in on. But once we have a mortgage fund, we're probably going to fund at least half, if not more, of those loans through the fund. And what a fund allows people to do is invest more passively, where if you want to invest in individual notes, you have to be much more active, and you have to be fast. That's the other thing. I mean, we sell, we get funding commitments on individual loans sometimes literally within 5 minutes of making them available via the internet through an email that we send out to our distribution. So if you're not at home sitting in front of your computer when we shoot that email out, you're out of luck. So it's an opportunity for people to get in on high rates of interest, and our fund's going to target. Well, actually, I don't think I can actually say that legally, but let's just say, because funds are actually regulated, and I need to pass all this stuff through legal before we start advertising rates and such. But let's just say you can earn near or close to what you would earn on an individual note through a fund. The reason why you typically don't get quite as much in a fund is because a fund has expenses that you don't normally have on an individual note. But when you're investing in individual notes, those notes tend to pay off early. So if you invest in a 10% note to a flipper and you get that money back in 6 months, which is not unusual, that's fairly standard. That money, then you get your money back. Well, you were earning 10% on it, or maybe 9% on it in this market for that 6 months. That sits in your money market account for 30 or 45
once
or
you've got
60
another
days.
deal that's ready.
Right. And so, and again, so that's the hard part, is that the people who are active, it's almost like stock trading and being a day trader. You're going in and out of these notes, and what are you really earning on an annual basis after you factor in the time that the money is sitting idle? So most active trustee investors, quite frankly, that I know of, are lucky to be making 8% returns on an annualized basis using 9 and 10% notes because of the payoffs, whereas most funds that I know of are paying in the 8% range. So again, I think the fund is a great way for people who are intrigued by the high returns that are available through real estate security.
Yeah, there's definitely some advantages to the fund.
There are
I mean,
many.
it's-
Diversification is another.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is with a fund, I mean, you got to be dealing with an honest person. And I mean, you and I have known each other for a few years now, so I can attest to how well you've treated me all this time.
Well, we
Mark.
think we've got some compelling reasons. I mean, I personally have been only involved in real estate as a career, so over 30 years of real estate investing
That's all?
and lending
That's not enough
in the
time.
Bay Area. So this is going to be a Bay Area focused fund, Bay Area lending by a Bay Area real estate professional.
Do you think it'll go outside the Bay Area at all?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we'll have the right to, but again, our deal flow is really local.
Yeah,
That's
well,
what-
especially if you're known local, and so that's where you get a lot. Okay. And how do people get a hold of you when
Well,
they
check
want
out our website, pacificprivatemoney.com. There's pacificprivatemoney.com. There's a link on that website to another site that's our investor website, which is pacificprivateinvestments.com. You can always go also to thebestinvesting.com and click there.
All right, Robert, we received an email for you that
Right.
people know that you are in the mortgage business,
Yep.
and here's the question. It seems like everyone is opting for fixed rates instead of adjustable. Are you experiencing this, and what do you think of it?
I think, what, Mike does?
I don't,
I think I lost it.
I can't hear him.
Can you hear me? Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Mark's,
Thank you
You're
for
gonna hold
helping
that
out there. That's why we have headphones on to hear
Let me
this
sneak this in real fast. Yeah. Fixed rate mortgages, disproportionate market share, absolutely in this market. I think the actual stat is they're somewhat 95%, somewhere around there. So yeah, I mean, most people are opting for fixed rate loans. There's good reason for that. I mean, we're talking about in a lot of instances, fixed rate mortgages under 4% across the spectrum. Certainly if you're at a 15-year fixed, I've done some of those under 3%. So when you're talking about fixed rate money below 4%, I mean, how do you beat that in terms of borrowing? I mean, in 30 years, in 10 years, where are rates going to be if your debt on the largest item you hold in debt is your house and it's fixed in under 4%? I just think, your money market account's going to be paying more than that in a few years. So I'm a big fan of the fixed rate loan, and I think for most borrowers it resonates well because when you talk to them and you say, go with a fixed rate loan, you can feel their sense of relief. They don't want to think about rates going up. They don't want to think about the mortgage payment going up. And for that alone, there's a peace of mind element that I really like imparting on the borrower. If you're savvier, if you've got a shorter term proposition, then an ARM loan can be a really good fit. But you've got to understand the risks on that. And if you do, like all mortgage programs, they all have pros and cons. I mean, no doubt you pay a premium for the security on a fixed rate loan. But right now, with rates as low as they are, big fan of a fixed rate loan. Absolutely.
I mean, I was going to say that. What kind of rates are you looking at with a adjustable?
Adjustable rate mortgages are going to be in the adjustable rate mortgages are going to be in the twos.
Okay.
For a lot.
That's like free money.
Yeah, I mean, and if you're talking jumbo stuff, which we see a lot of in the Bay Area, some of that stuff's going to be in the threes, the low threes, mid threes. But even then, you're going to have a good fixed period on that loan. And one other thing, real fast, Edward, is that a lot of adjustable rate mortgages are technically hybrid loans, which means the first 5, 7, 10 years of that loan are fixed in. Then it converts to an adjustable for the remaining years of a 30-year term. So a little bit of clarification necessary.
So maybe if somebody knew that they were going to sell their house
Absolutely.
in a year or two,
You hit the nail on the head, right?
But who knows nowadays?
Right.
How do people get a hold of you if they have more questions about fixed or adjustable rates?
Yeah, as Mark said, Best of Investing is a good way to do it. I have a once a month home buyer webinar that I host. So if anybody's thinking about getting into the housing market, you can learn the basics for free. It takes about a half hour. You can find the current registration form for that on themortgagedictionary.com, themortgagedictionary.com.
Wait, did you say free? That's my favorite price.
Yeah, it's and it's great. People get a lot out of it for a small investment of time. And my phone number, 877-270-5959, 870.
What's your number again?
877-270-5959.
There you go. We almost got you on that one.
Ah, there you go.
Okay, we're going to get to our third commercial break. Here's the trivia question. The theme is, who did they team up with? Who did Mariah Carey team up with to sing I'll Be There? Remember that? See, that's a harder one. Okay. The first three callers with the correct, I think it's in the last few years. The first three callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Again, their website is lighthouse4fun.com. Check them out. Call 888-912-1190. That's 888-912-1190 to answer this question. Who did Mariah Carey team up with to sing I'll Be There? Make sure to include your name, email address, and remember to speak slowly and spell out your email one letter at a time. And we'll be right back.
I don't know that one. Pitbull?
You know?
Yeah, I gotcha. I figured that was a harder one.
Do you know who it is?
Do you have any more quarters?
Oh, yeah. No.
Okay. I'll go take care of it.
Okay.
Okay, I have,
I'm gonna go on a limb and say it was Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
One of those things.
Fake ones?
Or the fake ones.
wait, Mike.
Started the clock too late on this, so I gotta figure out exactly how much.
What happened?
I started the clock, like, I think 3 minutes into.
Yeah, I noticed you.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I was going, I can't see when I do that. I gotta figure out exactly. You guys having fun?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm glad this isn't live. I think I would have fainted.
My first live radio show was 3 years ago, almost I think it was this month, and they gave me the headphones that also had the feed from the guy behind the glass in the back room, which I shouldn't have had. So,
You're not doing
so the
anything.
host asked me a
there,
question,
yeah.
I start talking, and all of a sudden I hear this voice in my head, and I just stop.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he wasn't talking to me, he was talking to the host.
Oh.
So the host looks at me, I'm looking at him, I'm hearing this guy talking to me, I'm not talking, he's going, you know, and
Wow.
I've you know, but it seemed like an eternity, but
Yeah.
it wasn't. Because
It's on
people
now.
who
It's not
listened to
here.
it didn't even pick it up. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you know, they're just, you know, I'm talking, I stop, then I start talking again. But because it was live, I just thought,
That's what the sports guys like on Monday Night Football say is the hardest thing
yeah.
is listening to the producer talking to them.
Oh, when
When they're
yeah,
talking.
two
I can't
different
even.
ones. I
You
like
guys seem
live,
like you
though.
can do live like
Yeah,
nothing.
oh, we have a good
Oh,
time.
You know,
It's
it's
easy.
all practice.
Yeah.
We've done, what, close to, well, not quite 150, but probably 125 shows
Oh
now.
my god.
And so, yeah, and so it took me a while. And we actually did this show live for the first year.
Yeah.
That's
It
kinda
was
cool, though.
just it's an all-day event to drive into San Francisco.
That's not really
Yeah.
Get there early, record,
Yeah.
and drive home
Yeah.
into Marin.
That's
It's you know, leave at 10 and get home at 4. And
Yeah.
just for that 1 hour, it was hard. So from San Diego, are you guys working together? You used to work
He's
together?
in, he's
business?
in San Jose.
Yeah, she,
Right, but
yeah,
she's
she
in
just
San
moved there
Yeah.
about
Oh, you
4
just
months
moved.
ago. So
Okay.
she heads up all the
Nice.
social marketing. So we kind of have an easy separation.
Okay. How do you guys communicate? Do you guys just on the phone, or do you
Skype
do
all the
Skype?
time,
all the
yeah.
Skype.
Almost every day.
Well, yeah, and he's also my father, so we
Yeah.
talk
Well, no,
into
I knew
everything.
that part. So I only asked because I'm curious because like I've got Office 365, which comes with a link, and Link has a
Ah.
kind of a Skype component. And I'm
Mhm.
trying to figure out which of all of these various ways to communicate and what
We like
people
Skype
like.
a lot.
I like Skype. The
that's nice.
only thing is that if either one of your connections is shoddy,
Like
Yeah.
it doesn't. I personally like. Well, I have an Apple, and I like FaceTime way better than
Oh.
Skype because the
Wow.
connection just seems to be a lot better and it's a lot easier to use.
Mhm.
But yeah, we mostly do like conference calls and Skype and all sorts of internet checklists to make sure we're doing our work.
I want to be on your email distribution
I will.
list too.
Yeah,
so
please, because I mean, I do a lot of
I'm
my own
interested in your
Uh,
services.
marketing, and I could use help.
And we have a Friday email that goes out. It's been about a year now, every Friday with the 4
Can
tops.
you have my
no way.
purse? There's no way I'm getting out of here.
You're gonna crawl out.
Yeah. My purse has my card in it.
Every Friday we have an email with the 4 top internet marketing stories of the week. And they're usually pretty interesting.
I write the
Good.
email.
Good for you.
Kelly's doing it now.
Quality.
Yeah, I want to see some of your stuff, and I'm intrigued that you say you worked with a hard money guy because, you know, and I don't know if it would break your agreement with him to promote anybody else
Oh,
in
no, we
the
can do
area,
that.
but
Yeah, we try to respect geographic boundaries as well as possible, but that's a pretty big one.
Yeah.
yeah.
Internet is internet too.
Yeah. We do a lot of dentists and people like that, so we don't have another dentist within 5 miles of any
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Other dentist. My briefcase is back, so I'll grab my card. Done.
That's good. By me redoing this like this, I was able to figure out exactly how long
Okay.
it was.
Yay.
Yeah. Okay, so.
Yeah, we'll definitely add you guys to the email list.
Yeah, please.
See, that's the interesting thing is that when people come on the show, a lot of times they'll get new business because of
Yeah.
guys here or
Yeah.
referral, and it's just a kind of
Well, because it's hard. I mean, there's
It's very hard.
there's this person who's made there's a woman who's a young woman, you probably know, Kelly, who this person is. I want to say Sharami. I think she's got an Indian name, and she's wrote a book, and she's kind of become a celebrity in social media marketing. She wrote a book, and crap, if I don't know, here I go again. I'm talking about something not
Am I going to Google it?
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's but anyway, it's there's so many. Point is that there's so many people you can choose.
Yeah.
She's promoting her company, but you just don't know.
Yeah.
And it's one thing. I mean, some people can become celebrities just because they're good public speaking and they get their name out there, and people think they're cute. No one's invited her on the show. All of a sudden, she writes a book about how to promote yourself in social media. But is her company any good?
Right.
Are they really making effective results for their clients? It's so hard to pick people because I've actually gone through a couple of marketing consultants.
It's
That I
tough.
paid a lot of money to, and it all seemed like it was a great idea going in, and a year later it was like, that was $15,000-$20,000 down the toilet.
I'm ready to redirect my website URL to our company one.
Yeah.
It's like to maintain it.
Yeah.
I mean, to keep it fresh and current. Like you said at the beginning, I'm more concerned someone's going to go there and go, this is a stale website. I don't want to work with this guy.
Yeah.
It's definitely there's so many different components to marketing and internet marketing now that it's just if I was running a business and had to deal with all of that on top of it and didn't know how, it would be exhausting.
I tell you, one of the big things is anyone in the internet field, especially in marketing, ask them if they outsource anything out of the U.S. and you'll be amazed.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, 95% of the people do, and you know what that means? That means you're paying a lot of money for very cheap labor.
Yeah.
Right.
And probably not very
Well,
good
I've used some of that cheap labor. I mean, I paid someone $2 an hour to do just tons and tons and tons of work for her. I paid her to go on to, I gave her a list of, and I did this probably like over the course of 6 months. It's like, here's a list of a whole bunch of real estate websites that are either mortgage brokers or real estate agents in California. And she would go and farm all of the email addresses, type them into an Excel spreadsheet, and then send it to me.
His
And I'd upload it to Constant
thinking.
Contact, and boom. Of course, Constant Contact says you have to have a relationship with all these people. It's like, oh, right.
Sure I do, right?
Sure I do, yes. All
Let's don't have
10,000
them all at
of them.
once.
Say, come on, I want to speak to Habib.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay. You have an article you want to bring up.
Yeah.
Is there anything you wanted to bring up?
No, we'll just talk about the case Schiller just came out. And said real estate's up 5,000% in the area. No one can afford homes again. Hey, whoopee!
Yeah.
We could talk a little bit about that, what that means, and if it means anything,
Okay, then maybe kind of chime in,
if you want.
Just remember to speak like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for helping him with the mic. I put some tape on it. I don't know why that mic has been doing this. Okay, you guys ready?
Something about those mics.
It's only that. All right, here. Excuse me. Welcome back to the Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hahn of Pacific Private Money and Robert Spinoza of RPM Mortgage. And when we cut to the third and final commercial break, we asked this trivia question. Who did Mariah Carey team up with to sing I'll Be There? And I heard a couple of answers that were not correct.
Is it Pitbull?
Pitbull, no. Anyone else?
It wasn't the Michael Jackson.
It wasn't
right?
the Michael Jackson, no. It
Mark
was,
something?
No. It was an R&B singer named Trey Lorenz, with Lorenz.
Oh.
And Mariah Carey sang Michael Jackson's part, and Trey sang Jermaine's part.
I tried to forget the 90s.
Was that the 90s?
I don't know. I think so.
That's a great. If you ever, honestly, if you ever get a chance to hear them do that song, that I like their version actually better than the original, which is usually not the case. Usually, I like the Jackson 5, but seriously, they. Okay, Robert, you have a very interesting article you want to share with the audience.
Yeah, I just, our industry is regulated by so many different agencies, but one of the more recent ones is the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Well, they opened their complaints database for public viewing yesterday, and specifically it says 17% of the customer complaints by volume related to bank accounts or services, while 50% of the overall complaints in the database regard mortgages. At
Now,
least
who would complain about mortgages?
the other 33% talk show hosts.
Yeah.
So I find that startling. I mean, 50% of I'm in an industry where you have a great opportunity to do things right, and apparently a lot of guys don't take advantage of it. I think that's the moral of the story.
When you
for
say
me.
this has only been up for how long?
A day. They just opened this. They've been doing the research ongoing, but this is what they're finding.
Wait, it really wasn't a talk show.
Oh,
okay, you almost got me on that one.
I don't think the CFPB regulates you.
Oh, okay, good. Only the.
That surprises me because the mortgage loan origination industry is just a fraction of what it was 10 years ago.
Not only that, think about the quality of paper we've been originating since 2008. I mean, I don't know how far back they're going on this. I'd have to look at the entire report. I think it was 28 pages. But we always talk about it at our office. Incredible what borrowers have to go through to get a loan. And I can't imagine these people, after having gone through that exhaustive process, I mean, maybe that's part of their complaints, but certainly they are extremely creditworthy, and you would hope they're having an experience that leads them to understand what they're doing.
But by the way, the FCC has never censured me yet. It's just like when I tell you to fill out bank forms, and they say, "Have you ever been convicted of felony?" And I go, "Convicted? No, I was never convicted." Okay.
Well, speaking of mortgage loans and getting loans to buy real estate, of course, the Case-Shiller index was released for January, and it said, and this made big news, so most of you listening out there probably heard of this, but in the Bay Area, they said that prices year over year in January rose nearly 20%.
Yeah.
I think it was 17.5, with the big one being like Phoenix was like up 22 or 23%.
That's because it dropped about.
Right. So, and we've been doing this show for almost 3 years, and we were talking about Case-Shiller quite a bit when the market was dropping a couple of years ago. We were talking about how Case-Shiller is really a 90-day index, and so some people who've responded that I've spoken to about that have said, well, that's 90 days old information. The market's even hotter now, and some are saying the market in some areas is up 25%. And I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Is that
there are two sides to that coin.
Great, we can't afford homes anymore again. Happy days.
But it's freed a lot of individuals from the trap of negative equity. I think last year there were 1.7 million homeowners that had their equity restored. So this allows a lot of individuals to relocate and take a better job. It certainly gives them a sense that they can spend more money in the economy.
That's a lot of trillions of dollars coming back.
Yeah, exactly.
But a lot of people are getting a lot more conservative, and they're not just jumping on everything's great, gravy now. Let's go ahead.
And it's not as easy to use the equity in your home as a cash register either.
Yeah,
that needs to be said.
So, but the point that you're bringing up is true. Is that prices need to rise back up toward the 2006-07 levels in order to free people up from their negative equity, so that they can put their home on the market, so that we can get more homes on the market, so that inventory will increase again.
Point.
But I think about the fact that all those people who were refining up through the end, using their home as a piggy bank, and now are underwater if they still have their home, if they haven't already lost to foreclosure, or the people who bought at or near the peak and overpaid. I mean, what you're really saying is homes have to go back to being overpriced again for us to be able to recover.
Well,
and
the
real
stock
estate's just
market,
too darn expensive.
The stock market's at an all-time high right now, isn't it?
And something no one talks about in relationship to those two things are wage growth, because really that's the fundamental component that's going to fuel any of that.
Well, yeah,
and
if you
it's
have
out
high
of line,
unemployment,
right?
That to me is the major thing. What is unemployment right now?
7.8. Does that sound right?
Yeah. The published rate, not the
the real rate.
7.6.
Right.
Exactly.
I'd say the real rate's closer to 15%, or more in some markets.
And that's highly local. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Go to Detroit, little higher.
Yeah.
So the affordability index right now is still pretty impressive
But it's way lagging.
because of low interest rates. But what happens when prices start to go revert back up to 2006-07 levels, but then interest rates start to go up?
Well,
how's that going to impact the real estate market? Obviously, it's going to have negative pressure on pricing once more.
Right.
We all know it's going to happen. Now it's a when, not an Yeah.
Well, and you see that interplay every day with the markets when the Fed, the members of the Fed governing board talk about when we will remove the stimulus and when we will deviate from the zero interest rate policy and all that. The markets get spooked on a dime.
Sure.
Because they know how much is riding on the easy interest rates that we've got available to us in so many consumer levels.
I'll bet that kind of feeds into you, Mike, where you have to keep on the cusp, the forefront of everything with the internet marketing, don't you?
Yeah, there's new things coming out every day. Facebook alone, I probably get 20, 25 alerts every week on things that they're doing. So you have to really keep appraised of what's happening. Once again, really hard for a business owner to do that.
Right.
So that's why they turn to people like us to keep abreast. Because it's almost a full-time job knowing what's going on.
Sure. Well, thank you, Mark Zuckerberg, for paying $1 billion in taxes. He's helping the California. In fact, what did they say? Like thousands of Facebook people are cashing in, or they cashed in, or whatever taxable transactions. So they're going to be paying lots and lots of taxes. Thank you very much.
State of California will thank them, and it's going to keep our budget in surplus, hopefully.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's only a few billion. I think we need. What is our deficit in California right now? Shaking of heads. Everyone's
I
hanging their
couldn't tell
heads
you
like
what that
Eeyore.
number is.
Oh, it'll never get better. I just know it.
It's hard enough just to keep up with the real estate market,
Right.
let alone care about what's happening in Sacramento. All
Well-
I know is I'm paying more taxes.
Yeah, right. As April 15th looms.
Why does that happen? You make less money and you pay more taxes. I don't get it. Mike and Kelly, thank you very much for joining us in the studio. Any last marketing words for us, for our audience?
Just want to thank you for having us here and just encourage your visitors to check out getfound.us. Getfound.us and get your
This is
free
one of those
ebook.
shows everyone's
It's-
forgetting their
yeah,
phone
yeah.
number. There's something in the air. They're spraying something.
Oof, now I feel better.
All right, Mark, we have about 30 seconds before we get into
Well,
our
the good
thoughts
news
for the
about
day.
real estate, whether it goes up or down or flat, it doesn't happen fast. You can always make money in real estate, but you just need to know what you're doing and have a good team.
Have a good sharp pencil.
Absolutely.
Okay, here are our thoughts for the day. Cows moo in different accents according to where they live. So in France, I guess they must say les moo. One time I got a bad grade in high school, and I tried to slough it off to my parents by saying, "Hey, they don't give out D's to just anybody." They didn't buy it either. Tune in next week to The Best of Investing. We're going to be giving away 9 more free vacations for answering trivia questions. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm Edward Brown, wishing you the best of investing. So long. Good.
Awesome.
That's a wrap.